Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Cheers. Welcome back. And just for the record, can these quarterbacks stop, coming to the AFC? I think we've got enough. Holy shit, man.
The AFC is just
every
the
day,
NFL.
Every day it's another one, man.
The NFL is wild. You figure right now Baker Mayfield is a man without a team. Like, where is he going to go? Like either Seattle or the Panthers. Like, where else can he go?
He's going to screw Darnold over again.
But like seriously, but where else? Dude, it's such a crazy world, man. It's like it's just. The AFC is loaded. Quarterbacks going to replace wild contracts. I mean, it's just.
I'm hoping maybe this helps, some team like the Falcons that don't have a quarterback right now as far as trading up, maybe inside the top 10. Maybe we can move back a little bit, get some extra picks. A lot of teams without a quarterback right now. Although all the teams that do have one seems like are in the AFC.
Yeah, but you figure there's a couple teams. You said like the Panthers, the Falcons. I mean, are the Steelers happy with what they have? I mean, there's a couple teams that could want quarterbacks, which is a good thing. So thank everybody for joining us. Thank you guys for all joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching our videos too, man. I can't keep up with the freaking comments. So we appreciate all the support there. It's been wild, man.
I'm trying.
It's not easy, dude. It's not easy. So what's up, Lauren? What's up, Trav? So what is this comment here? Super hilarious. Cassandra tried trolling Jake Assman and got herself blocked.
That is amazing. I'm a big Jake Assman fan now.
What's up, everybody?
After this.
I don't block anybody, dude. I don't even have the energy to do that kind of stuff.
I think I've maybe blocked 3 people in the entire time we've been doing the stream.
Yeah, I don't even care. Yeah, the AFC is wild. Watson, I mean, there's some interesting storylines right now that we're going to cover before we go into just evaluating the free agency. And the first one I kind of want to start off with. What's up, Jonathan? Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us, man. I appreciate it. I know there's probably 30 shows going on right now, so you guys watching us is kind of cool. What's up, Jared? Let's see. Armand, Eric, the whole cast is here. Just need Snoopy and we'll be all good.
And Tyrone would help.
What's up? Yeah, well, he'll be 10 minutes late. So
total lie.
What's up, Anthony? I have not watched the NCAA tournament, but obviously I saw St. Peter's. But I haven't watched it. Did you watch any? I haven't watched any of it.
I watched a little bit of it. I know Javid owes you something special tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So, yes, Notre Dame, but they came up big when they had to. So, what's up, John Atlanta? So, I guess the first story I want to start out with, there's 3 things that are intriguing me right now. And the first one is the whole Mekhi Becton thing. And it's so weird that, and this is actually Jet fans feel so like they just constantly want to antagonize the guy and trigger the guy and go after him. And I'm like, if you're really a Jets fan, the best case scenario is he comes back a man on a mission and plays lights out, and becomes a left tackle or dominant right tackle. They don't want him to be. Like that's
well. Here's the problem. At least from what I see on Twitter, because I'm sure you're basing all of this on Twitter. The 3 to 5% of negative Jet fans out there that are just trolling Mekhi Becton, he just constantly feeds them every single day. Yeah. You even saw Revis today. Yep. He kind of called him out and just said, "Stay healthy, ignore all the noise, drown that shit out." That's what he's got to do. He's a third-year player right now who's had injury problems, in both of his first 2 seasons. Yep. And clearly the coaching staff has some kind of issue with, the way he's going about his business as far as his conditioning, his weight. So there are some issues there, whether we want to admit it or not, there's something going on that, that we don't know about. So obviously as fans, we all want to see him become that left tackle that he was his first year, stay healthy. But at some point, he's got to prove he could stay healthy and he's got to earn it. So at this point, it's just kind of wait and see mode. Let's see what kind of player, shows up in training camp and if he can get back to that form as a rookie. I think every fan wants it to happen. Yep. Some fans might have some doubts, but I don't think it's like a lot of fans that are going after him, but the ones that are, he's feeding it and you're seeing more of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm getting a lot of I get a lot of tweets like, we got to trade him. We got to get rid of him. We know what to expect. He's injury prone. I'm like, listen.
Too soon to say that.
And I was critical of him last offseason when he struggled in the inter squad the scrimmages against the Eagles and Packers, where I'm like, listen, he struggled against Carl Lawson, but I'm like, he's young. Maybe he has some growing up to do, whatever it is though. But I'm like, and what we want is him to dominate. You want him to come back and be that you have him and Vera Tucker on the left side for the next 10 years. We're golden. We're happy as hell. So that's what you want. Like, and I don't like at this point, there's so much excitement surrounding the team. Like, why even give it? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you're a Jets fan right now, bitching and moaning and complaining, I don't get it. Like, listen, the AFC is stacked. And listen, it's the list of quarterbacks in the AFC. There's some powerhouse teams. Obviously, the NFL's proven the salary cap's a complete joke because it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
If you want a player, you can get him. But it's just weird to see this always around him, man. He's the only player. It's like the stigma is surrounding him. It's just wild, man.
That's why I just feel like the pressure's kind of getting to him a little bit, where he's reading all this stuff. He feels like he's got to respond to it. He's going back and forth almost every single day. There's a new tweet that, he's going at somebody with. I'm just like, dude, you know what everybody's saying, or at least what some people are saying. You just got to go out there and prove it. Stay healthy, show what you could do, and everybody's going to love you again. But the more you keep calling all this shit out, it's just not a good look.
Breaking balls is breaking some news that Sam Darnold signed a 1-year deal worth $35,000 with Dunkin' Donuts. Sam Darnold, man, he's in a tough spot right now. Matt Rule is clearly moving on from him. The other
might not have a choice though, but to bring him back.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I actually picked up his option too for what $18 million. The other interesting thing is how the Jets are handling the wide receiver position, where they re-signed Berrios, which we all agree with, it's a solid move, but obviously they lost Jamison Crowder today. But there's so many receivers. Like there's a lot of quality receivers out there that you could have traded for. The Amari Coopers, the Robert Woods, guys like that. The Devontae Adams thing, which I know was a pipe dream, but there's a lot of guys out there. But there's a lot of like guys a little tier down from that are available too. And the Jets they're not actively shopping, dude. And that's either they are so convinced that they're going to draft somebody, or they're comfortable saying, they like the guys we have, but also the addition of our 2 tight ends, new weapons. But it's a little bit interesting. I know, because right now we're in the world where you can't criticize Joe Douglas because you'll get all kinds of hate. I'm going to use the word interesting that they're not more active in free agency when it comes to wide receiver.
Yeah, you can use that word. I'll say it's quite risky to take this approach. Whether or not you're planning on drafting a receiver at 10, you're going to get your guy there. That's fine. Right now, and I know it's only a week into free agency. Right now, as the current depth chart stands, we're worse than last year. Because Crowder, he just signed 1-year contract, $4 million with the Bills. Keelan Cole, he's still a free agent, and you pretty much brought back the entire same cast as far as Berrios. Corey Davis is coming back. We have no idea what he is. Obviously, I think a lot of fans think that Elijah Moore can probably take that step into year 2, but who's opposite him that you can depend on right now? And that's nobody. Denzel Mims at best maybe is making the roster. So yeah, I think it's pretty curious that you've had all these guys between Woods and Amari Cooper that went for 5th and 6th round picks. I didn't like you. I didn't expect the Jets to be in on Devontae Adams. I think he wanted to go to the Raiders, but even other guys that signed like DJ Shark, we were talking about 1 year, $10 million, guys like that, even Allen Robinson, I thought that was a reasonable deal. 3 years, $45 million. The fact that there wasn't one receiver out there that Joe Douglas said, you know what, I'm not taking no for an answer. I got to go get this guy for my young quarterback. I think it's a little bit surprising. But again, it's 1 week. So maybe there's a draft. Maybe they're going to trade for somebody. But it's still a little bit alarming right now.
It's interesting that, and listen, we'll go through the moves and we'll cover, I like a lot of things they've done. And there's a lot of positive energy around this team right now. And rightfully so. They made solid moves. I mean, if anything, you got to give Joe Douglas a tremendous amount of credit. He got quality players at the right price. You see how he develops his contracts. He's always going to have salary cap flexibility, even though the salary cap's a complete joke at this point. But he's managing his roster and his contracts wisely. And the one story that came out, and it was confirmed today, the Jets were showing active interest in Chandler Jones. So that means they were going for a high price free agent. Chandler Jones admitted himself that the Jets were interested. So they had the money to go make the big splash. So if they had that big splash money, then why didn't they make one? And listen, they can still do things. Only a week into it, but it's just it's so weird, man. Where you have the ability to make these, and you see all these teams making power moves almost day in and day out.
Yep. And the other part of that is, how often did we say it last year when the Jets took a rookie quarterback? The whole idea of taking a rookie quarterback is that those 5 years, that gives you the best chance to win by being able to spend around him. So if we're going to wait another 2-3 years before we finally invest in a receiver, and then there comes the time where you got to pay Zach Wilson $300 million, well, you might be in a little bit of a problem. And I know, like you said, the salary cap, there's plenty of different ways, as we're seeing this offseason, that you could work, around that and restructure deals and all shit like that. But still, the fact that Zach Wilson's going into year 2 right now, and I know it's only a week into free agency, but right now the current group of receivers is worse than last year, and that's not good.
Yeah, no, they definitely. I think the plan in the draft is quite obvious. They could probably still do other things. There'll be cuts. There's a couple guys out there, but
now it's almost like you have to take a receiver at 10. Whereas maybe if you signed an Allen Robinson and then somebody like Sauce Gardner drops to 10, or Thibodeau maybe falls, or Hamilton, whoever, maybe you have some flexibility where you could take best player available still at 10 and then go for your receiver in round 2. Now I don't feel like they have any choice. They have to go receiver at pick 10.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting, man. Like the whole, and like I'm all about building around Wilson. And I'll tell you, I like a lot of things they did, but the wide receiver position to me is just fascinating. When you see there's some really good values out there, and so we'll go like, position by position. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. If you guys have questions, we'll make sure we answer them and go through. Tomorrow night, we'll bring you guys on. So you go, obviously, the quarterback position, no surprise here. They bring back Flacco, the veteran quarterback they have. They tendered Mike White. Flacco's serviceable, dude. Like, the money was right. You bring him back. Obviously, Zach likes him, and Joe Douglas loves him. So, no surprises there.
Yeah, nothing wrong bringing back the, pretty much the entire same quarterback room as last year.
Yep. So then you go to the running back position, and this is where it gets interesting again, because you obviously have Michael Carter, who everybody loves. They bring back Tevin Coleman. Great. But there's also other guys out there, man. And obviously I was a big Cordell Patterson guy because I thought he brought a lot to the offense in terms of running back, receiver, returner. If we can learn anything in this game, is you need depth and you need talent everywhere. He's another versatile chess piece. Like, to me, because you have Berrios doesn't mean Patterson's is no need for him. You have need for him. But there's also other running backs out there as well. And to me, we talked about maybe adding a fullback. There were some fullbacks available. They're gone. You talk about a lot of different. So you need that. If you want that power guy, you want that, you want that grinder. I don't think P. Ryan's that guy. Maybe should they still explore the running back thing, or is that going to be a draft thing?
At this point, I think it's probably going to be in the draft because every year you see it where guys go in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that are able to contribute. Even guys that are undrafted, they're able to contribute significantly in the backfield. So I do think the Jets need that power back, somebody that would be a nice complement to Carter. I think that Carter, he's got the ability along with Coleman. They can both catch the ball out of the backfield. They're pretty versatile. I'd like to have that one guy in between the tackles, especially late in the games that, you can wear out a defense. So he's going to run you over, get those short yardage, those big 3rd and shorts. So yeah, I still think they need somebody else in the backfield. A little bit surprised that, they didn't try to sign another free agent, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as wide receiver.
Yeah, and I think also you figure the upgrade at tight end, they can use those guys as fullbacks too. They can go jumbo package. There's a lot of versatility, especially with Conklin. So
bring back Westco too if you want.
Yeah, come on, man. He should be traded for a 6th round pick along with Cashman. So
it's amazing they got something.
We have Nick Bawden too. I know, but I'm talking about legit. But I think so. You go to tight end position, which I think is probably the biggest upgrade that we've made in a long time in that position because we haven't had a tight end since Dustin Keller, who was okay. He was solid.
Safarian Jenkins had a good year.
Yeah, he did too. But this is like you have two, I think, very good players that are heading into the prime of their career. They're versatile. They're good blockers. They can catch. They can run after the catch. They're leaders. They bring a lot to the table, man. Where this is like, if you're talking about the best moves for Zach Wilson, having two guys like this, especially in the red zone or safety valves, dude, you can't beat that, man.
Yep, this is exactly what we wanted. Having those safety valves, those guys that you can depend on, also going to help you in the run game a little bit. Zama brings plenty of leadership. I think Conklin, he's starting to come into his own. So yeah, I think this was huge. It's probably the most satisfied I am at any position. What they did at tight end, and I still think they're probably going to draft somebody else in round 3 or round 4. Have somebody that they can groom over the next few years.
Yeah, they didn't cut Ryan Griffin yet, did they?
Not yet, no. I don't know what they're waiting for.
So
I know with some of these moves, you could save extra money if you cut them after June 1st, I think. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
So you go to tight end position, which was an enormous upgrade. And then you go to the offensive line, which I think Tomlinson was an enormous move. So you have Fant, you get back, you have Veer Tucker, you have Tomlinson. And then you look at the center position, and this, I guess, is Joe Douglas saying, you know what? I like McGovern. We believe in him. He played good down the stretch when the offensive line started to gel a little bit because – Bozeman and these guys didn't go for a lot of money, man. There is, if you look at the money you could save by cutting McGovern and bringing in somebody else, a guy for the next 4 or 5 years, the Jets seem like they're doubling down, man. I think they draft the center and say, you know what, McGovern can groom them and be like the mentor and move on to him, but that's kind of where they're going.
Is Treader still a free agent?
I think he is.
Yeah,
last I saw, I think he is.
Yeah, I don't remember him signing the contract yet. Yeah, a little surprising, I guess, that they would kind of go into this year and, maybe they're still going to try to negotiate with Fant for an extension, but having two guys both on 1-year contracts along with Becton, who's still kind of a question mark, your guards are set for the next couple of years, which is nice, but, the most important positions are your tackles. And, that's kind of, up in the air a little bit.
Yes, that's interesting. You have Fant, who's obviously they like him. They, according to Tony Pauline, he keeps saying the Jets are negotiating with him. Yeah. Who knows? You have him, you have Becton.
And that creates such an interesting scenario too for pick 4. If Aquanu's there and he's your best player,
What do you
You
do?
take him. Where does he play? Where does Becton play? Do you just move on from Fan at that point?
That's a fascinating situation,
Yeah.
man. It's almost like an abundance of riches where it's like now you have 3 tackles. It's like, and then, that's where like I keep getting tweets like, you know what, draft him and trade Becton. I'm like, woof. I'm like, I don't know if you want to do like you're like, and I understand when people are skeptical, man, but he's so young and he showed glimpses in his rookie year where he was downright dominant, dude. He was just throwing people around. Like
is it better to make that move a year too early or a year too late?
Good question, man. It's just.
Do you think they're going to be in position next year? Top 5 pick?
Nope. I hope not, dude. If they're a top 5 pick next year.
That's what I'm saying. So if you could get your stud tackle now, in best case scenario, Becton's healthy, he moves over to the right side. Now you have your 2 tackles for the next 10 years.
Oof.
Not a bad problem to have.
Yeah. So you look at that, so offensive line, Tomlinson's a huge upgrade, man. The reason why is for a lot of reasons is he's physical, he's a leader, and like this team's starting to get a little edge to him now. They're getting that physical nature to him. Like you want it, like last year they had no identity, man. We had no face in the franchise. We didn't know what we were. Running team, passing team. What are we? Like ground the pound. Like there was no, like a lot of times we're getting pushed around. No life. They're adding a lot of passion, a lot of leadership, and I think Tomlinson's going to bring a little edge, a little fight there. I mean, McGovern has a little bit of that too, but now you need some nasty, man. And then adding also run blockers like tight ends with Azuma and Conklin that have a little, that all helps, man. Starting to set like your ground the pound, sets a tone a little bit on offense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the shit that we saw last year, I know we bring it up almost every other show, but where, Zach was lying on the ground and nobody was helping him get up. I mean, how many times did we see that throughout the year last year? So I think Tomlinson, the tight ends, I think all these, even the young guys starting to come into their own, learning what it takes to actually protect your quarterback and build that chemistry up front. I think we're going to start to see a change next year.
So now you go to wide receiver position, which to me is interesting. We talked about that earlier on. Obviously, a couple of things like Elijah Moore, to many of us think he's going to be a star. Like he has game-breaking talent. Unfortunately, he got hurt. We didn't see a lot of it, but there was times like, all the everybody's like, oh my God, this kid's a star. So that could be your game-breaking talent, which is great. Corey Davis has been average. I mean, maybe he bounces back this year. You have Berrios, but the one guy that everybody keeps, my Twitter account's been a mess lately, dude. I don't know why I give into this stuff, but they're like, maybe this team actually believes in Denzel Mims coming back this year. And I just don't think that's the case.
I mean, define believing in him. Like, where would he rank on the depth chart going into this season? Maybe as your 5th or 6th wideout. Maybe as a guy, if he
were
plays
playing
well
Jeff
in
Smith
preseason.
ahead of him.
That's what I'm saying, though. And Jeff Smith's coming back, too. They signed him to the exclusive rights contract. You figure they add at least 1 or 2 more guys in the draft. I'm sure they're going to sign another free agent. I just don't know where Mims is going to fit in. I think if he has a great training camp, has a couple good games in the preseason, maybe he makes the roster as your, 4th or 5th or 6th receiver. But to expect him on the field in any kind of serious role, I think that's stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, and I know they lost Jamison Crowder today to the Bills in a reasonable deal, but to me, I thought he was gone anyway. You have Moore, you have Berrios. They don't really have a need for Crowder. Getting a little bit older, he was banged up last year. I mean, he's still a solid receiver, but I think we have other guys that take his spot. Like you're not, it's like only Jets are going to miss him. You're not going to miss Cole if he leaves. Like he hasn't signed anywhere else. But like,
no, if they're going to invest in anybody, it should be somebody that could be opposite Elijah Moore. I mean, you have 2 guys right now, and Moore and Berrios that could both play the slot. So I don't think there's any reason to really bring back Crowder. Yeah.
So for everybody that's talking about Mims, I mean that'd be a great story if he comes back and just lights things up. But I don't think that's the Jets saying we don't need to sign anybody because we have Denzel Mims on our roster. That's definitely not the case, man.
Don't think so.
I don't think so at all. So offense, I think if you look at it a week in the free agency, there's a lot of really good things, man. You help the offensive line, you improve the tight end position, some work in progress at running back, work in progress at receiver. I guess that's kind of right. And then Flacco was, I mean, whatever. That's fine. I don't care about Flacco.
I don't like so many work in progresses, but I understand built through the draft, and that's ultimately where we want this young core to come from. So
yeah, I mean
stay patient for a little longer.
Yes, and then you go to the defensive side of the ball, which is interesting because I don't know shit about Jacob Martin. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Only thing I know is he's fast. So they signed him, and according to what everybody is saying, is that Saleh wants the grinders in the middle, the guys that just maul people in the middle. Then you have the speed guys on the outside, the Bryce Huffs, the Jacob Martins, guys like that, and Carl Lawson when he comes back. If that's what they think, great. But I still think at this point, the defensive line, they need help. And to me, at 4, that's where you're going. I just don't. I think you go. If we learned anything over the last week of free agency is it's about pass rushers and it's about quarterback passing game. right? That's
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if Thibodeau's there at 4, I think it's a no-brainer. The question I have is whether or not at pick 4 they would consider taking the third best pass rusher in the draft. Because ideally, at pick 4, pick 5, somewhere in there, you'd think you'd be getting the best player at that position that you take. So if you're going to take the third best pass rusher, is that I know the pass rushers in this draft are pretty deep. So if you can get a guy like Jermaine Johnson, is that a reach? I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, pass rush is definitely a need. I think Martin's a solid player, gets lots of hurries. Similar, it seems like, to John Franklin Myers. They get a lot of hurries. They record the stats, but they don't really get the sacks, it seems like. But you got Lawson coming back, Quinnen Williams, hopefully, with all this talent around him, maybe
got
he
Nathan
could be in for a
Shepard coming
breakout
back.
year. Got Shepard coming back too. What more could you want, right?
But I think that to me, it's like you see it, like everybody's getting paid. It's like the quarterbacks, receivers, and pass rushers. We need pass rushers, man. So it's like, and that's even with, I have still pretty high expectations for Carl Lawson's points. I'm a fan of his, but another serious injury, but he's just a workaholic, man. So you got to figure you can get something into him, but it's legitimate. The linebacker group, they haven't,
done anything.
I understand, like, I like what Quincy Williams brought to the table. I do. Like, I know they have all these young guys that got hurt, like Sherwood, and everybody's got banged up, but like, you kind of thought that they make some moves, no? Like I don't know. Because they even brought Jared Davis in last year. I don't think he signed anywhere yet, but like, I'm just surprised they didn't bring another veteran or two in there compete that are just solid players. There's a lot of them out there.
I think Van Der Esch is still out there too. A few other guys.
Yeah, I'm surprised, man. And the one thing that I keep hearing from everybody is like, oh, well, you gotta worry about the cap, the contracts. Don't worry about the cap. Like, we have the cap space. If you want somebody, Joe Douglas is savvy enough to get the guy signed and not kill our cap. We have the space, but you matter keep adding talent. Now, I know they could sign guys this week and there's players still out there, but the linebacker group I still think needs work. They have some speed, but you need a lot more sideline to sideline speed, in my opinion.
Yeah, unless they're just really high on the safeties coming back from last year. Nasraldine and Sherwood, they were out there for a little bit. They were doing their thing in training camp. So maybe there's high hopes for them still.
Yeah, so obviously the corner position, which, you get DJ Reed, who, looks the part, man. Confident, physical. He could do a lot. He's versatile.
Do you see the cap breakdown, though?
No.
So apparently he's only getting like 4.5 or something like that this year. But then years 2 and years 3 are $14.2 million against the cap.
That's a going. If he's a top corner, that's a going rate.
Well, I'm saying he better be a top corner at that rate.
Yeah.
Well, I think it also said they could release him after this year, and it would only be like a 1-year, $11 million contract.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't turn into one of those Pierre Desir type things. I think he's a much better player than that. So
it seems like Joe Douglas always has like a bailout in all his contracts where he's like, I'm gonna give you 2 years, and then it's like, if you're not working out, you're out of here.
Yep.
So in terms of corners, you have Reed, you have a lot of young players, man. You have Eccles, you have Hall, you have like Michael Carter, Javelin Guidry's back. A lot of young players you like. I still think that this is a conversation we'll probably have. When the first 2 rounds of this draft, you're gonna go corner. I think you're gonna bring another like legitimate talent in here to upgrade the room, because you need to add, like, I think you probably still add another veteran, but don't you think, like?
I don't want to add just like another middle of the road veteran. Like, I don't think that does this group any good. I think you have guys that are good number 2s, number 3s, with Eccles and Hall. I think Michael Carter showed that he can compete in the slot.
Absolutely. Yep.
You need a legitimate number 1 guy. Like, we don't just need another body that can go out there. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hoping it could be him, that he takes over as your number 1. I think Hall, I said it all last year. I think he could be a solid number 2. And then, you got Eccles and, a few of your other young guys, Isaiah Dunn, as your depth. I think that's a decent group to go into the season with, not complete yet by any means. But certainly, you add Whitehead into the mix, you still might add another safety. I think that's going to help them out a lot. So, it's coming together a little bit slowly but surely.
Yeah, they have a lot of competition in the secondary. And I think the one thing you learn about Sal is defense. He likes a lot of versatile parts. He likes you to be able to, you can play the slot, you can play outside. He wants your safeties to play, like, he wants everybody playing everything. So to me, I love the Jordan Whitehead signing. Love it. That is the kind of guy you need back there. You need that thumper, the physical, passionate guy. And that's kind of like what I think Tomlinson's going to add to the offense in terms of his tenacity. I think Whitehead's going to add that to the defense. Now, that's no disrespect to Mosley. Mosley gave his heart and soul to the team last year, but Whitehead brings that swag where he just hits anything near him. He attacks the line of scrimmage. He could fly around. He could be an enforcer, passionate, like that leader. That's like, you're kind of starting to set your tone in your defense now. You're kind of changing the mindset. Like last year, we're getting mauled for 200 yards rushing. Everybody's standing. Nobody cares. I think you're going to start seeing guys care a little bit more, and you're going to see a little bit more, more attitude on defense now.
Yeah, some of those arm tackles and just the lack of effort that we saw in the second half of games last year, where they clearly mailed it in. I don't think we're going to see that this year. And Mosley, he was doing everything he could last year, but now you have a few more pieces that are going to hold some other guys accountable. So I think that's important.
Yeah, so you look at and they bring back LaMarcus Joyner, who was hurt all last year, but you have 2 veteran safeties. You have Elijah Riley. I mean, I think
Will Parks.
Yeah, you have Ashton Davis too. They like Will Parks apparently. You have Pinnock too. They're the high on him. So there's a lot of young players, a lot of competition, which is always good. And the safety position is just fascinating because the more you read about it, and because I'll just for you, Trevor, just for you, man.
Don't do it.
Where is it?
We're having a good show right now.
We're having a good show. Where's a comment right here? You just went.
Chat is good before you can find it.
Yeah. Where the hell did it go? There it goes. Oh, it was Michael. Yeah. What do we have to do to get Tyson to talk about us taking Kyle Hamilton? If you look at where the game is going right now with all these high-flying offenses, it's pass rushers. Dude, Hamilton's going to go top 10.
Where are you taking? You're taking him at 4?
No. He's going to go top 10, though.
All right, so we're not getting him then.
We're not taking him at 4. But I think his skill set is going to be – a lot of teams are going to see him as a weapon where it's like he can play corner, he can play safety, he can tackle line of scrimmage, he can play like a hybrid linebacker if you want. He brings a lot to a defense, man. And that's – because it's funny because everybody wanted to pay Marcus Williams. Everybody is talking about Tyrann Mathieu. All these guys, everybody wanted to pay all this big money. This kid doesn't sit. He's not a Hall of Famer. I understand he's not that top level, but his skill sets match what everybody wanted to pay $15 million a year for. They really do. Like that's not even being a Notre Dame guy. Not even fuck that. It's just everybody said we need this playmaking safety, this leader of the secondary, all this shit. He does a lot of that stuff, dude. That you want to pay $15 million a year for. So I think a team, not the Jets, will take him top 10. I really do.
But is that the most important need?
I mean, I don't know. That's a huge weapon for somebody's defense.
I'm looking at where the receivers are right now. The questions around Becton. We just talked about the linebackers. The pass rush still needs some work.
No, to me right now,
safety at 4, which
where I stand right now,
I don't disagree with what you're saying that he might be a great player and he might even be a perfect fit for the Jets defense. I just think that taking a safety that high, regardless of how versatile it is and how many different areas you can move him around, that's probably like 5th or 6th on our list of needs right now.
Yeah, for me right now, as of what's today, March 21st, I'm saying pass rusher at 4. The best one that whoever solid deems the best pass rusher sitting there at 4, he takes him there. And at 10, I'm going receiver. I'm not even thinking about it, dude. That's
sharing the brain.
And I understand the whole corner thing, but like I want the wide, especially now because they didn't sign anybody, dude. Like if they and I respect Barrios, but they didn't add another receiver. If you add another receiver, I would have felt better about it. But now it's like pass rusher at 4, receiver at 10, and then you want to go whatever you want to do, corner at second round, whatever else. But that's kind of where I'm at, man.
Yeah, corner and linebacker in round 2, pass rush and receiver round 1.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. And so overall, what's up, Zach? There's another good comment here too, though. But I definitely think Hamilton's going top 10. The way you see these teams are playing out. Oh, look at this. The third amigo. What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man? What's going on?
We're just recapping all the moves that Joe Douglas made. And the really cool thing, I think, when you look at all the moves made, it's like there's a really cool energy around this team, though. Like you look at the guys are all fired up. The locker room's all fired up. But even like analysts, like respected analysts, not like, obviously all Jet fans right now think the world is great. Everybody's great. And we have 22 Pro Bowlers. But respected analysts, NFL guys saying, you know what? Joe Douglas is doing a solid job. Like you're building slowly. You're not going to, you're going to be a better team this year. You still have a little ways to go, but there's definitely progress, man. You're seeing culture. You're seeing tone. You're seeing a blueprint and a plan. Tyron, you got to be encouraged a little bit, right?
Excuse me. Absolutely. Listen, we've been talking about this all week long, and last week, I think he's done a tremendous job. Listen, we knew that we had a lot of holes to fill, but what he's done is he's filled holes with quality players. You know what I'm saying? And it's young quality players, and it's the same outlook for every player. They love football. These are hard-nosed, grind guys. These are leaders in the locker room, stuff that we needed. And what he's done, and we were talking about this like a couple weeks ago, what he was going to do is in free agency is fill the holes that he needed to fill. So he basically pretty much filled every hole. And if he grabs a receiver, he fixed the tight end.
Listen, hold on, but that's my question though for you. And we were talking about this a little while ago. It's like we give him credit for a lot of things, but the only interesting to me is that the wide receivers, man, you look at the trades that happened with the compensation was quite adequate. The Jets could have handled that. the salary cap hit was quite adequate because Amari Cooper restructured. Robert Woods' contract wasn't that bad. A lot of things and it's like, even like the other contracts that were given, like DJ Chark, the money wasn't breaking, dude. So it's like, to me, like Joe Douglas is handling the wide receiver group. Either he's very, very confident in what he has and what he's gonna get in the draft, or he's kind of pushing the limit a little bit here.
I mean, what I'm saying is this, Tyson. Like, listen, and I'm gonna jump back, not jump back. What I'm saying is what he's basically done is he brought in quality players in spots that we needed. Okay, as we go from tight ends to safeties to to offensive line, key needs for this team to improve, right?
Yep.
So yeah, the one thing he hasn't done is draft a wide receiver. But what happens after the draft? You get quality guys get cut. So what I'm saying. Listen, my whole mission is I'm not expecting him to fix everything in one up. It is, but at the same time, Tyson, we know at some point he's going to take a receiver in his draft, and we know he's going to add a veteran receiver because that's what we really need in this
Yeah, but
outlook.
And I agree with you. I think he's definitely drafting a receiver. I think we could all agree it's a matter, will it be a 10, second round, you trade up? He's definitely getting one. But to me, it's like the veteran receiver, while I think the ones out there, I mean, you had some legitimate guys out there, man, that, like, to me, Robert Woods was a solid fit. The Amari Cooper thing was interesting because he restructured, like, the one thing is, we can't afford that cap hit. He restructured it. Like, there's ways to do a lot of things. And I'm not complaining by no means. I'm just questioning it because now it's like, I think he's putting some pressure on himself to get at least 2 more receivers. Okay, we all agree he needs 2 more receivers. Draft one and sign one.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the veteran,
or draft 2.
Well, I mean, I think he'd be better with a veteran. I mean, listen, you still got a guy like Landry out there. You know what I'm saying?
Landry ain't coming here, dude.
Listen,
Going back to the Browns.
Listen, whose market has died down. You know what I'm saying? The right offer. You know what I'm saying? Listen, at the end of the day, the league sees what we're doing. Like I said, we're
I
not
see what
there
we're doing.
yet. You know what I'm saying? But listen.
So
wait,
Tyrone, looking at the Jets receivers right now, you still wouldn't take one at pick 10.
No, I'm not taking one at 10. I'm not. I'm not taking. Listen, I'm not taking one at 10. Listen. I mean, I'm not. I mean, listen, prime time. Listen, I understand where everyone is coming from, but I do like the one kid from Ohio State, and I like London. I like both of those. But let me ask you a question. Say we take Thibodeau's there 4, right? So we're at 10, right? Mm-hmm. And at 10, when we go up to pick, 3 of the wide receivers that Joe Douglas holds value high, all 3 of them are still on the board. You wouldn't move back 3 spots or 4 spots to grab some more assets and knowing that one of those guys is going to be there?
You think he has all 3 players rated exactly the same? I'm sure he's got one of them.
No.
You take your best guy.
I understand that, but at the same time, listen, we talked about this before. Like, listen, you expect these young guys to come in and hit the ground running because what we need is somebody solid that's going to be able to help our quarterback.
I'm not disagreeing about potentially trading down and taking a receiver. I'm just saying that at some point in round 1, you have to get a receiver. At this point, based on the approach in free agency, you cannot wait until round 2 to take a receiver. You can't risk it.
Completely agree.
I mean, honestly, in the prime time, I do agree with you. I would like for him to take a receiver. But if he values somebody like, listen, the kid from North Dakota State, right? The kid
Watson?
they had at the what's the kid's name?
Christian
Watson.
That's him. Yes, this kid from all parts, man, was absolutely dominant. You know what I'm saying, in one-on-one drills, right? Kid looked amazing. Nobody could cover him, right? Say this kid falls the second round, he's there in the second round. This kid actually is first round talent, but if he
I don't want to
second round,
I don't want to play
Tyson,
that waiting game.
I understand that, Tyson, but I think that, you know what I'm saying, listen, every part of this can't be fixed in one off season. And if they don't value the receivers that they are 10, listen, we're fans. You know what I'm saying? This one thing about this show I love is we're just fans. We got our own opinions. What if they're scouts and they don't see these guys the way we see them?
But that's the thing with where they're picking at pick 10 though. It's hard to imagine that between Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Treylon Burks, Olave, Jamison Williams, that not one of these guys they view as a number 1. So go get your guy. Go get Zach Wilson, his guy. They didn't want to do it in free agency, and that's fine. So now you got to draft him. If you still want to take a Christian Watson in round 2 or somebody else in round 3 as a developmental prospect, fine. You still need a legitimate guy opposite Elijah Moore right now. You can't risk it.
No, you do. But let me ask you another question. What about trade?
So what?
You're trading for a guy like DK Metcalf?
So what are you giving up for him, though? Are you giving up that 10th pick
I
to
mean,
get him?
Oh, yeah, but if we're gonna do a trade, I would have traded for freaking Robert Woods. What?
Yeah,
look, at the
sixth-round pick.
look at the
Cooper,
look at the
fifth-round pick.
compensation, dude.
no, for absolutely not. I'm just saying, though, man. The other options on the table, we don't
There is.
know the full plan. And listen, I understand where you're coming from because I feel like if we got a receiver, that to me is probably the best offseason draft we probably
Because
had.
Tyron, just say, for example, right now, the one thing we learned last year is what if, God forbid, what if Elijah Moore goes down? I don't want to have a starting group of Corey Davis and fucking Braxton Berrios.
No,
like let's learn from our mistakes where you got to have depth and legitimate talent. And that's why where I agree with you, like I like to have a veteran guy. Some of the veteran guys that were like, and I understand Berrios does a lot of good things. I'm not discounting him by no means, but we need 5 receivers. You need to account for injuries, a 17-game season, bullshit happening, guys struggling, whatever it is. And I'm just worried that, you need to have legitimate playmakers. Now, I understand, too, that the tight end position, upgrading like that, changes everything, man, because now you could take care of all kinds of mismatches against safeties and linebackers now, and you have running backs out of backfield. But if you want to go 5 wide or 4 wide with your receivers, we need more receivers.
Tyson, I think you're wrong. I don't think we need 5. I think we need 6. I think last year.
I'll go there. I'm like, how am I wrong on that?
Listen. I think last year proved the whole point to us. That, you know what I'm saying? For your young quarterback to grow, which he one aspect he fixed. Well, 2 aspects. He fixed the line so he can run the ball better. He got 2 solid tight ends, not just grabbing guys that can block or guys that can't do this. He got 2 quality guys that can come in, can really help development of your quarterback, right?
Great.
Also, now listen, we learned from Elijah Moore last year. This is why he didn't do this. I don't know. But we expected Elijah Moore to hit the ground running. Like, listen, to me, this is what I'm saying. And this sounds crazy. But, if he would have caught that ball in Charlotte, I think he would have had a better season. Like, you remember that big bomb? If he would have caught that, it's like when he dropped that, when he dropped that, it's the nerves. It's a different kind of game. So, like, putting that kind of faith in the chase, that's a different kind of player. So when you're looking for somebody like that to come in and jump and help Zach from day one when they're on a learning curve, that's a lot to ask for.
But there's a difference though. We're not asking, say they draft Garrett Wilson. We're not asking Garrett Wilson to be Jamar Chase. We're not, because we already have our Elijah Moore, who's gonna have a lot of pressure on him to have a big time season, and you have Corey Davis. You got to be a complimentary player, especially for the first half of the season till you learn the NFL, but catch 25, 30 passes and just be a consistent weapon for them. And if somebody goes down like Corey Davis, who got hurt last year, you could plug him in. Nope, we're not asking anybody a rookie be number 1 wide receiver this year, but you need to start getting guys who can be here for the next 4 or 5 years that Zach Wilson can grow with. You have more, let this guy grow with more. That's kind of do it that way.
If you're taking them at 10, you're expecting him to be a number 1. Right?
Not this year. He's got to be a
control. Doesn't have to be right away.
Tyson, prime time, but listen.
Doesn't have to be right away. Long term, within 2 or 3 years, should that guy be a number 1 wide receiver? Absolutely, at pick 10.
Listen, if you know it's going to be a growing pain, then the one kid I heard a compliment earlier that how good the kid is from Ohio State. What's the one? Not the Ole.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? The guy was like, if there's anybody I trust in this draft, is either I would take the kid London or I'll take him. You know what I'm saying?
At the very worst, he's a day 1 starter that you could depend on.
Yeah, and absolutely. But to me, I think we need 2 receivers in the draft because listen, my biggest thing is this: I don't think they trust Davis, but I still think we need a veteran.
Shit, I don't trust Davis.
Exactly, and this is the whole point of the matter. Is, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, Davis. I'm not saying he's the problem, but I think that he's not going to help.
Not a solution.
Of Zach.
He's not a long-term answer.
He's not, and we thought he was going to be, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we're realizing that he's not the guy because he dropped a lot of balls. We need, you know what I'm saying, and that's why Berrios had so much success last year, is because you had a guy like Dave who could
because everybody was hurt.
And then when Elijah came on, that's when things changed. But yeah, you definitely I definitely want a rookie. I definitely want 2. I don't know if I want it in the first round. Now, if Joe D moves back and he values guys at 10, he takes him at 10, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I just listen. My understanding is this, bro. Listen, this is a really good draft with a lot of talent in it. And the one thing that we don't have is 1/5 and no 6th rounds, right? This year's draft, right?
They have a 5th rounder. They have a 5th rounder.
One 5th round and no 6th round. Okay. Yeah. Well, what's ended up happening is we know Joe D's gonna move back. You know what I'm saying? He's been very methodical this whole offseason. And I'm telling you, he's still gonna listen. It's still gonna be another receiver in the building that's going to be a quality receiver. He's not going to be the match at number 1 because I think Elijah's going to probably end up being our number 1 because I don't think Davis is his second. I think Davis is 3rd. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Marcus goes.
I just
We'll go through this. We're backed up on comments. What's up, guys? Just joining now. I think defensive end is priority for the 4th pick. 10, I want to see Wilson or London. 34, linebacker. 38, defensive tackle. I disagree with that. 69, wide receiver. 111, running back. 116, interior offensive line. What do you think about that approach? I disagree.
I like most of it except 38.
Yeah, I'm not taking defensive tackle.
Yeah. Well, no. What is that kid? What is that one kid there?
I want a corner, dude.
But just the way that Salah rotates. Yeah, good.
What is that one kid named? No. He's a defensive tackle. We had him at the Senior Bowl. Kid was a monster, bro. Was a monster. You know what I'm saying? If he's there at 38, I know Joe.
I didn't study any of the defensive tackles.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
nor do I plan on it.
Yeah. I mean, the kid's a beast. I mean, listen.
But Tyrone, you wouldn't be surprised if we didn't draft a corner.
I'll be surprised if we didn't have a corner. No, listen. I mean, everyone knows who I want.
Is it Perry and Winfrey?
There you go. There you Winfrey. That's it, buddy. You already know. You're on the big homie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kid's a straight monster, man. You know what I'm saying? Something that we need. But listen, to me, at 4, you gotta take a booking. I mean, listen. I don't know who it's gonna be, but we definitely need a booking. I'm telling you. But if Sauce is there and the 2 top ones are gone, I ain't mad if they take him. I just think this kid's a generational player. I think he's a Revis S type player. You know what I'm saying? But
we're at 10.
I take him at 4.
You're taking Sauce at 4. Man, I couldn't do that. I mean,
I think he's a great player, but I don't know if I'm taking a corner at 4.
I'm thinking pass rusher.
Listen, but which one are you taking that for?
The best one whatever Salah says is the best pass rusher for your system, take him. Seriously, dude. Look at the AFC right now. Look at all these quarterbacks in the AFC right now. You need to be able to get after the quarterback. Dude, I would draft 2 pass rushers. I mean, because they didn't sign it. I mean, shit. Get after it.
Let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. If I was in Baker Mayfield camp, I'm going to the NFC, buddy. I got the chance to make the NFC championship game with a halfway decent team.
He could be a Pro Bowl. He could be a Pro Bowler out there.
Exactly. Be happy to have a job at this point.
I am not coming to the AFC, bro. That doesn't make no. Listen, when I tell you, man, we got to get our stuff together, man. When I say the game has changed, it's a whole new ball game. So I know Sal's gonna get. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he took 2 pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what losses. We don't know what Lawson's going to give us. We don't know. Now, you know what I'm saying? That's if he comes be healthy, great. But I can't count on possibilities. Tyson, what's your favorite quote? Your best ability is availability.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, I mean, we're out here trying to figure this out. Listen, if Sauce Garner there 4 and they feel like they can get one of the bookends at 10, take it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like if
I think every team's going to be going to look for pass rushers. I just think it's pass rushers and receivers.
Listen, listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think one of those top tackles is going to fall to 10. What do you do then? You know what I'm saying?
You think Aquanu's going to be there at 10?
Now that Aquanu's going to be there, but I think it's a possibility that Evans might fall down. I think so. Listen,
and that's the one interesting thing. It's like you like what the Jets did on the offensive line. You know, it makes sense. You have adding Tomlinson is huge. You have Becton, you have Fant, you have Veer Tucker, you have McGovern. Then if you look at it, all right, if there is a tackle sitting there at 4 that surprises us, do the Jets dare to take him, or they say, you know what, we got to go past? Like, that's just.
Tyson, listen. This is my whole point, man. This is the one good thing I love about Joe D. And I don't care how his tenure goes, I will never take from him. The one thing that he understands is, bro, something we're not used to. It's okay to have multiple good players, bro. We've never had that before.
But what's the best? But what's the best value though? Is the best value adding a pass rusher that we most likely don't have, or adding a 3rd tackle to the mix?
Well, it depends on the value. Listen, it depends on the guys that they start to see. Listen, I think the Senior Bowl. Really
what's your answer? What's your answer though? Would you have the 3rd tackle or a pass rusher?
Who's there, Thibodeau?
Yep.
I'm taking Thibodeau. I don't care about it. I don't listen. Listen, I'll tell you what, bro. If Thibodeau is there, bro, I don't care if it's Kwanu and Thibodeau. I don't care who you Thibodeau. This kid, to me, I think he fits our system. But also the kid, what's the kid name from Georgia Primetime? Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say this kid could be, you know what I'm saying? Could be, you know what I'm saying? It might be something they really like. You know, listen, it's all about fitting systems. I mean, also, man, listen, if we get a book and we still need an outside linebacker as well. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, but we got the 2 guys from
Yeah.
last year we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? This is all not knowing. You know what I'm saying? But to me,
That 4 pick is going to be interesting as hell, man.
yo,
That is
bro,
going to be
listen,
so
Tyson,
interesting.
it's scary. It's scary because what if something go crazy and one of these kids show up and show out at 2 of these pro days, and next thing you know, somebody getting a little buzz, getting a little itchy, one a quarterback, and next thing you know, Tyson, what if both of them bookends are there, bro? What if both of them are there?
That's
Well,
not-
then
What do
let's see.
you listen?
a
What do
great,
you
that's
do,
a great
baby?
problem to have.
But you know what? That's a good problem to have because then you know what? Then you can consider.
Listen,
Then you can consider trading down. Then you
Tyson,
can't trade down.
No.
a problem
I
we
would.
a problem we haven't had in a long time. But listen, the one thing about what I can say what Jody does, I'm not trying to hug up time and not let prime time come on after this. I just
I'm
want to say
talking
this
the
right
last 15 minutes. Who you kidding?
here. Yo, bro, I'm excited, bro. Listen, I'm excited, man. This is excitement to
The
me,
good thing
bro.
he was a half hour late prime time. We wouldn't have
yo,
got no
I
word
mean,
in.
seriously,
Holy
right?
Yo,
shit.
listen, I want to show you what time you sent me the link, but I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying?
What time I sent you the link? What at
No,
at 2 o'clock today?
8:30. No, this morning. I've been driving all day, but that's what I'm saying. This is the point I'm trying to make. Like for the first time in a long time, man, we feel like this is being done the correct way, the way we wanted it done for so long. So if we have, and we know this team has improved, right? Just not on paper, we know the mentality of this team has improved. But what does it come down to?
Improved, yes,
it
but
comes
relative
down
to
to
the rest
one
of the
player.
AFC, still very far away.
I
Still
can't
very
worry
far
about what
away.
they do.
And it's not even to be negative. Just honest.
But
We're
Yeah.
very far
prime
away
time.
from the rest of the AFC
But
right
prime
now.
time. But what can we say about the Jets, though? I don't care about the AFC. Right now, about the Jets, this team has been better than we've seen in a long time, correct?
Well, no. Hold
On
on.
paper, they've
Hold
improved
on.
a lot, I think, absolutely.
On paper, they've made some
Okay.
very smart moves. So we have confidence in how they're handling contracts and the talent and the culture and the mindset the players are bringing in. Now, A, you got to coach them up. And B, the most important thing is Zach Wilson's got to take a big step
Thank
this
you.
year.
Tyson,
That's the most important thing. See, we can make
Tyson.
all the great moves we want, but if Zach
Yep.
Wilson struggles or has like a rough start and doesn't really take I'm not saying he has to go to a Pro Bowl level quarterback or a top 12 quarterback. He's got to take a big step this year because that is the most important thing where to make us take a next step and win 7-8 games or whatever we want to do. That's enormous, dude. It is.
Tyson, listen,
he has to, or we are deep shit.
That was my point right there. I was about to make. I tell both of you the same thing. The most important thing is this young kid's growth. You know what I'm saying? And listen, and the one thing they should have did last year, what they messed around and did, is brought in a veteran quarterback. So you got Flacco. And if he's not doing what he needs to do, at some point you got to say, look, sit down. You're not ready, whatever. And also, listen, I heard today that Joe D was thinking about moving into the first round with the number 10
I don't
pick.
believe none of that shit. You know what I don't want to hear. But I just please, here I'm gonna right now at 8:47. I'm gonna have breaking news here, and let's talk Jets, Tyrone. Just for you, I just got a text from I got sources, right? I got news for you. You want to hear this? You want to hear my breaking news?
Love to.
Let me make my water for this. I'm about to spit it all out. Go ahead.
This is breaking news. This is gonna be some groundbreaking shit right here. According to my sources, the Jets may trade down multiple times. They may trade up a couple times. They may stand pat. They like a lot of players. They have a lot of interest in several prominent players. There could be some guys that you're surprised by. Breaking news right there, man.
Yo, absolutely.
That's
Every year, the same thing. But listen, I would listen.
But Tyrone, really quick, really quick. You just said that Zach Wilson is the most important piece of this franchise going forward, right? And I agree with you.
Sir.
So if that's the case, how isn't wide receiver your priority in the first round?
Because prime time, and I'm explaining to you real quick, like I said before. Listen, if you had the guy that can hit the ground running day one and make Zach better, that's fine. It's a learning curve, man. We started with Elijah, man. It took him a while to get his feet wet. So you're expecting Zach to have you're not giving him a shot in the toy. You're showing him the toy, but it's not ready yet. It's still in the shop. That's the.
Would you take Jameson Williams at 10?
At 10, probably not. No.
No, because he's going to sit. And
I traded down. If I traded down to the teens, maybe.
Yes, listen. Healthy James Williams, yes, sir. If he was healthy, a 10 all day long, no problem.
The answer to this question: should we have gotten in on the Deshaun Watson wave? No way. Jets would never have done that. They're all in on Zach. That's a conversation we had last year before all his bullshit. But I mean, that ship was long sailed. They wouldn't. You couldn't do that. Not in New York. Is there a running ticker on how many times Tyrone says, "Listen, love the content, guys, as always"? Tyrone's on it. He's on a rampage tonight, man. He must have been locked in the truck too long or something. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I was excited, man. Bro, listen, this has been so. I love this time of the season, man. I love when we getting started, getting ramped up. I love it, man.
So next one is, hello, fellas. Thanks for mental health videos. Does the Matt Ryan trade to Indy help the Jets draft? And what grade do you give the Douglas free agency so far? I mean, the Matt Ryan thing to the Colts, the quarterback thing is just wild in the AFC right now. It's wild everywhere. It's just,
if anything, you market for a quarterback at 8 now. Are they moving up?
Yeah, I mean, who's Seattle's quarterback? Geno? Drew Lock?
But listen,
I mean,
Drew Lock.
I think you got to hope that there's quarterbacks that get hot that people want and they covet and they're willing to trade up and get. That's what you kind of hope for at this point. But I mean, in terms of like if you're gonna give a grade for Joe Douglas, I think it's like a B+, man. I think he's done really good things. It's only a weekend, so I'm hoping for me to go. I'll say a B, not even B+. I'll give him a B. To get to that A, it's a receiver. Give me another receiver, man. That's kind of where I'm hoping for. I mean, he also re-signed who? Who's the line? He re-signed Feeney. He re-signed McDermott.
McDermott, Shepard.
Yeah, so you brought some guys back, but I think it's like a B. I mean, you guys can give your grades too if you want, but it's like I think I'm really impressed. I like the tight end moves. I like a lot of the moves, but
I'd probably put him at a B, maybe a B-, just because again, receiver right now. Again, it's only a week, but it's still worse than last year because you lost Crowder. You don't have Cole back, at least not at the moment. So, maybe the plan is to draft somebody and that's fine. And, at the end of the offseason, I think that would be probably the better plan anyway to, get him a number one wideout that he can grow with for the next 5 years. So I'd be fine with that. But right now, still a little concerned. Tight end, safety, I love what they did there with Whitehead with the 2 tight ends. Still a little concerned about linebacker too, just, not bringing in a coverage linebacker. I thought that would be a priority. The only pass rusher they got so far is Jacob Martin. A little surprised by that. But I do like the DJ Reed signing as well. So yeah, I'll give him a B-.
Like, did Zardarius Smith sign yet anywhere?
I don't think so.
I haven't heard it. They have money. So here's
a good place for Baltimore.
No, he did. He went to Baltimore. They backed out, didn't he? They signed it.
No, he backed out. I thought he backed out. He backed out, right? Yeah.
I hope it wasn't as physical or something. But here's a good question: does anyone think the Jets are making up any ground on the rest of the league? And here's my short answer.
Get back to me after the draft.
I think the Jets have improved themselves. I think they're going to be a much more competitive team. Does that translate into wins and losses? To me, it's going to come down to Zach Wilson. That's just this kid's got to play well and Salah too. Like
if you have the coach and if you have the quarterback, that can make up for a lot of other areas that you're not efficient in. So
they're making solid moves, but now what you're trying to do is you're trying to catch up to the rest of the NFL while the NFL is still advancing. Like as we get better, they're getting better, but they're already steps ahead of us. So
that's what I'm saying. Like the Bills are 3-4 years ahead, and they're adding Von Miller. They're adding players. Like the Raiders, they're adding Devontae Adams. Like the Browns, they get their quarterback, they get Amari Cooper. Like all these teams, they've had their foundation in place for a couple of years, and now they're getting better while the Jets are still trying to build it. So it's going to take a while.
The one thing I was talking to a friend today, it's like you look at the on paper the playoff teams. Try to pick the teams that make the playoffs. There's going to be some very good teams that will probably have 10 wins. That's going to come down to like conference tiebreakers, like conference records, a tiebreaker to make the playoffs because these teams are loaded, dude. The AFC West is loaded. I mean, there's teams that are it's wild, man.
Watch this be another 2015. We win 10 games, don't make the playoffs again.
Dude, we win 10 games, I'll be happy as shit, man. I'd be so happy.
If we miss the playoffs in the final week, you'd still be happy.
I wouldn't be.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
But if we win 10 games, that's a fun season, dude. Let's give
We're
me that.
10-6 going into week 17. They lose, they miss out on the playoffs. Tyson Roush, the following night on the stream.
I was disappointed, but it means we won 10 games. We went from 4 games to 10 games. That's a significant improvement. It means Zach Wilson played better. It means the coach is doing good. So
that was my rationale in 2016. You're like, nope.
Listen,
you never know what next year is going to be, right? You never know what next year is going to be. That's what you told me. And you were right too, because we didn't bring any of that shit back.
I'm gonna give Douglas a B+. I'm also gonna say this right here when it comes down to what I'm expecting from his team. Yeah, this team has improved in so many ways, but we still, like you said, prime time. You're absolutely correct. we're still a ways off. So I'm not, listen, even if we knock the draft out the park, I still think we're a year away from really, really turning the thing around and really moving in the right direction. Now we're going to see better football. We're going to see more quality football. We'll be in better games, but it depends on the one most important piece on this team, and that's that young quarterback. If he grows this year and he comes out with 3,500 yards and maybe 18, 20 touchdowns and maybe 7 interceptions, growth. Team gets better.
But also, while we're talking about that, you know where else we have to see growth? On the defense. Because last year was some of the worst defense I've ever seen played.
Horrible.
But I mean, that's where, like, to Primetime's point was the whole solid thing. It's like, yes, there is legitimate pressure on Zach Wilson to play better. There's a lot, Elijah Moore to be healthy for a full season, contribute, everybody else. But that
just as
defense,
much on solid. Yep.
Yeah, the defense from top to bottom, it has to be significantly better, which also helps Zach Wilson. If you can get them off the field, getting the ball, all these different things, it's gonna be interesting. So I think, but the expectations going into the season, I think, are raised for everybody. Like, I'm not willing to sit around a 5-win season again. Like, we want to see very, very competitive football this year, right? It's a fair expectation, isn't it? I mean, like, it's.
I mean, they've been in a rebuild since Joe Douglas got here. It's been 3 years. He's had plenty of time to.
And last year's basically a wash year.
In place. Yeah, we excused his first free agent class, his first draft class. It's about time to start competing.
And this is a great point here. It says there are 8 potential All-Pro quarterbacks in the AFC alone. Zach better grow up quick.
Yes, sir.
He's got to take a big step this year, and then next year you got to really know what you have in him. And like, all right, this kid's a legit. Because like right now, it's like you can't have just a guy at quarterback, right? I mean, the Cleveland Browns proved that they sold their soul for Deshaun Watson on and off the field. They sold their soul, but they're like, we need a top 5, top 10 quarterback to actually compete in the NFL. Because when you watch Mahomes and Josh Allen go at it, you're like, you know what? In order to play with these guys or Joe Burrow, we need a high-flying offense. We need a legitimate quarterback. So you got to
look. Tyson, look at Baker Mayfield. That's a prime example. You know what I'm saying? You get the team in place, you get the quarterback you think you got in place. He's just not a guy. So what do? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
poor guy played injured. Running him out of town.
Bro, listen. And then I saw Matt Ryan. Listen, and that's the way Primetime wanted to build. Listen, you build your whole team up. Matt Ryan's walking into a great situation in the NFL.
Sure is, man.
A great situation. A good defense, but one of the best running backs in the league. All these lacking is a receiver. That's a couple of receivers, man. And then what they got? Did they have Amon-Ra? They got that kid. So bro, they got
Pittman.
Yo, they're gonna be all right, bro. They're gonna be okay. So it just got harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we was NFC, baby. We might be playing for a Super Bowl next year. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
AFC is crazy, man. The AFC is absolutely crazy. And this is another good point from Vinny, man. It would be nice to see wins versus the AFC East too. I mean, we've been getting our asses beat out.
I feel like one positive, they've definitely gained some ground on the Dolphins and Patriots at least.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel like we're a little bit closer to those teams.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Bills are just another level, but Dolphins and Patriots we should be able to compete with.
With Von Miller, next level just went next level. They just went nuclear, bro. This is crazy. They got Davis was already great. You had Von Miller. It's like, woo.
Yeah, it's some of these teams, like, they're just like all-star teams, man. They're just, and that's why it's funny because, like, the Rams can't sign nobody. This guy can't sign nobody. Chiefs are still signing players. Rams still signing players. Everybody's still getting whoever they want. It's like
the Chiefs just got Juju Smith-Schuster. Stop playing.
Yep.
Bro, what?
It's so ridiculous, man.
You need more offense.
Thanks for like $50 million over the cap.
The Packers, they got rid of Devontae Adams. The Packers were like, oh, they're in cap hell. They're fine now. It's just, oh, man. So, the whole Baker Mayfield thing is wild. So you got, next comment is, AFC is so competitive that Wilson and Douglas will both have to be all-worldly just to compete. It's a tough spot. See, the only thing is, it's like, to me, it's like the Jets are not in a win-now year where it's like they got to win 11 games or we're going to fire everybody. We got to see improvement. I think a significant amount of pressure to be on this organization next year, where it's gonna be like,
if there's not improvement this year, you don't think heads are gonna roll? You don't think anybody?
No, if they struggle this year, win 5 games, there would be an enormous amount of pressure on Wilson and Salah next year, or they're gonna be blowing shit up. It's just,
if they only win 4 or 5 games, not that I want to have this conversation right now, but if they only won 4 or 5 games, especially if the offense is playing well like it did last year, and the defense is historically bad again, I don't know if Salah's coming back. And I love the guy, but if LaFleur is grooming Wilson the right way, where that offense is producing, he might be next in line for the fucking head coaching job.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and this is, let's see what this interesting point here. It says, we felt we were getting closer to Dolphins at Patriots last offseason. It's funny how I feel like what you guys are saying is a repeat of last offseason.
I didn't feel that way last year.
No, I mean,
You guys booed me off the show every week.
we were hoping to see. I don't think any of us expected defense to play that bad as it did last year. That was shocking. The Carl Lawson injury was enormous, and then we had pretty high expectations. If we're being honest, for Zach Wilson. We didn't think he was come out and play that bad that early. That's just we thought he would play a lot more competent than he was. If he did, could have won some of those games. The Carolina game included. Some of those games he could have won. Some things we just didn't anticipate. So it's
not the loss and injury, but I think that was big. And I didn't expect Zach to play. After that first game, we were watching it, and I'm really watching the kid. I'm like, okay, this kid, got a little something, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think the biggest thing for him is growing and understanding that, listen, you got to take what the defense give you. You take what the defense give you, you'll go a long way in this league and you'll be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, a good, but at the same time, you got to give him a solid offensive line. You got to give him a good run game. You got him 2 tight ends that I think.
But we eliminated a lot of excuses this year.
That 12 personnel going to be really big for us, man. I think so. So
yeah, but Tyrone, look at a lot of the excuses that we gave Solomon those guys last year was like first time head coach, first time quarterback.
You can't.
No,
you can't.
Especially when you're adding this kind of talent. They've added legitimate talent, and you're going to add a draft class that's highly quality draft picks, high draft picks here. You can't. Those excuses are going by the wayside now, man. You've got to coach better, play better, motivate better, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Listen to me. 7 games, 8 games, and being competitive in a lot of games, I'll be happy with that season. If you come out with 3 or 4 wins, bro, I mean, I'm going to be disappointed because I think the team is improving. I understand it's a lot more. Everyone like Prime Time had a great point with that. Listen, everybody else is getting better with playing catch up. But the first time that we're not doing it, we're doing it the correct way that it should have been done 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Piece by piece by piece, you build your foundation.
Addressing legitimate holes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this is the difference. Like this year, instead of signing like Tyler Croft and Ryan Griffin, he went out and got 2 legitimate tight ends. Like he went out, he signed a legitimate corner. He signed proven good safety. He got quality guys. But this is the one thing here. The comment is Douglas is pinching the Jets' pennies. I don't think he is. I think he's spending wisely. He was involved in some. Apparently, he was involved in the Chandler Jones thing. I don't think he's being cheap. I just don't think he's. I don't know. I don't think it's a cheap thing though. I think his approach and how he's valuing the talent, how he's building his team.
Yep.
If it's still happening next year, then I would say that's just who he is. He's not a believer in spending big on free agents, that he wants to build through the draft. He wants to have money available to extend these guys when their contracts end. Right now, I still feel like he's in the mindset of, you know what? We got 4 picks coming up in the top 39. I want to take best player available. I want to build through the draft. Once we have a few more answers with this roster, then I can start investing that money into some serious pieces.
You look at everybody wanted Marcus Williams. You basically got Whitehead and DJ Reed for the price of Marcus Williams.
Yep.
And didn't we say that? And didn't we say that also though when they missed out on Conklin? But we got Alex Lewis and Greg Van Roten and X number of guys for the price that they would have paid.
Those other guys.
I'm just saying it doesn't always work out.
It doesn't always work. But for me personally, I like Whitehead as a player. I think he's really good. But I'm saying that's how Douglas is doing this. But Douglas is saying, you know what? He was in the Marcus Williams talks, and I think he reached the point where, like, you know what? This is going out of my price range now because I have my eye on other things. I can get, it's like.
I just hope once they eventually turn that corner, which is I hope is after this year, he will be able to say, you know what, I'll do whatever it takes to get that guy that's going to take us even further.
I wouldn't mind Darius Smith this year.
Listen, Prime Time.
I wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
But let me ask you a question, Prime Time. Listen, you think that if we were in the situation the Bills were, you think he would have went up to Von Miller, knowing that kind of piece like that could put you over the edge?
Yeah.
We're just not in a position.
You think he would have given that? You think he would have given that contract though?
I mean, listen, if we're in that position. If we're in that position,
you got to go for the kill.
I would hope he would. I don't know if he will. Though. I don't know if he will.
Listen, Buffalo just learned a lot of shit. Listen. At the end of the day, man, listen. 18 seconds is a long time.
But it's 13 seconds. But no, but it's a different.
Change that.
Yeah, but it's a different mindset when you realize you need 13 pieces to make yourself competitive and compete and just get back on track and set your culture.
Exactly.
Or you're in the AFC Championship and you're one player away from going to the Super Bowl. And your team is a win now team. I think his mindset is just different now. He's like he knows he has to rebuild and stuff. I just think. Listen, we're all critical of him. I just think he knows where he has to do. He needs so many pieces. But also, if there is a big like there's a couple guys out there now that you can go out and get. go out and get them if you think they can help. Especially if they're young. So it's interesting, man. Yeah, because he was supposed to go to the Ravens and they backed out. So I'm not really sure what the story was.
That right there would finish free agency for me. Listen, that would finish free agency for me.
Man.
Yo, yes, sir.
The Robert Woods thing, and you can criticize him for the Robert Woods thing, man, because that compensation is low as shit. I mean, that's
even Cooper, pick? 5th round pick.
Yep,
and a swap a 6th or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll go. Let's see. Got some more questions here. Is Ashton Davis on the roster opening day?
Oof.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I'll say he is.
Special teams guy, I guess.
Yeah, special teams, 3rd/4th safety with Will Parks, maybe.
9 wins next year. No.
I wish, bro.
No?
I wish. I don't.
Nope.
Listen, y'all know me. I'm always drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. So I'm going to say 6, 7, or 8. Anywhere in that ballpark.
That's where I'm at.
I'm saying, yeah.
They only win 6 games. I'm going to be.
Oh, yeah.
So,
at least, come on, bro.
Yeah, 6. I'm the free agent. So next comment from Brandon. Free agency has been solid so far. If you're complaining about it, I'm not sure what to tell you. Only serious concern is wide receiver depth, but Joe Douglas will address it most likely through the draft. I don't think any fans are complaining. I just think that you can question moves that are being made and say, okay, listen, this is curious because this reminds me. I'm not gonna go down this path. I know I'm gonna get buried for this. It's just
do it.
it's just interesting. It's just interesting.
It reminds of what? What does it remind you of?
No, the handling of the wide receiver position it's just interesting, man. Like where it's
no, you were about to say it reminded you of something. So clearly there was a certain player or a certain offseason that you were thinking of.
Mike, it's not too rich. The money's not too rich. You can manipulate contracts and work contracts. It's none of these moves were cap killers for the Jets.
And didn't the Browns do that with Cooper, where they restructured his contract?
Yeah.
The money is not a problem.
They could have turned that 13.5 into 3.5 and $10 million outside of money. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
And that's the thing. Even if you do spend money and you get one of those guys, right? You can still take your receiver at 10. Or if somebody like a Gardner or Thibodeau or Hamilton, whoever falls to 10, you could go that direction and take another receiver that you can groom later on. You have more options. That's the only reason I was a little surprised they didn't go get somebody in free agency.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Woods had a decision of where he was going. I'm sure Amari Cooper did too. They all had
So did Deshaun Watson, and he told the Browns no initially, and they didn't take no for an answer.
Yep.
When are we going to do that?
$230 million. Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't care if you hate these. $230 million.
If the Browns can sell Deshaun Watson, I would like to think Joe Douglas can find a way to sell New York / New Jersey.
And these receivers are going to be more expensive next year. I mean, that's
$30 million.
That contract. That's so ridiculous.
They didn't sell him on Cleveland. They sold him on $230 million fully guaranteed, bro.
Here's a question for you, Tyrone, because I know you're going to say no. Would you be okay with Burks at 10 and Watson with 35 or 38?
Listen, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I like Burks and Ryan. We've been talking about this last week or two, so I'm not taking Burks at 10. I like Burks. I like him. I like him, but I'm just saying I'm not.
I don't think at 10.
My only problem with that is, wouldn't both those guys aren't both of them like 6'4"? Like you're going 2 big-bodied receivers. No, and I feel like the Jets offense puts more of a priority on route running.
They were claiming him to be like 6'5", 6'6". Now he's like 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Well, listen. Yeah. For me, if we're gonna take a quarterback at 10, I'm taking a kid from Ohio State. So I'm taking at 10. If I had to make a choice at 10, that's what I'm taking.
All right. Now Tyron's back, and now he's back on our side now. About time.
No, I'm just saying, if we take a wide receiver at 10, that's what I'm taking.
When we take a wide receiver at 10, you mean? The next comment is, it's still shocking how much Mims is an afterthought now. Mims was an afterthought last year.
Yeah, he was getting reps in special teams first 3 weeks training camp. They tried to blame it on bad fish.
Always on it though, bro. Her comments are always amazing. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm really disappointed in the Mims situation. But is it? And I don't know if it's solely him, but it has to be some part of him or the coaches. I don't know what this kid has done. Is this kid?
Maybe it's what he's not doing.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we know that he's not on the field, but it's just to me.
Maybe it's a work ethic. Maybe it's his route running. Maybe it's his effort. Maybe it's they reiterate. I'll never forget. I think it was Saleh. No, I'm sorry, it was Douglas. When they asked about members of the draft class, and he was like, "We want hardworking guys, football guys." He mentioned almost every member of the draft class except for Mims. Seriously, dude. Remember prime time? I remember he went through all these like, "Oh, this guy did this guy did that." Everybody but him was like, all right,
I thought you were going to bring up the comment that they made. I think it was after the draft about how they drafted all team captains. They were all good character guys, with P. Ryan, and I think it was like every pick from like round 2, round 3, and then look at where they're at now.
That was a bad pick.
He'll get a chance. I mean, he's got a whole offseason to realize that, listen, man, it's put up or shut up time, because your NFL career, for the Jets at least, is on the line. Like, if you don't come out and come in great shape with excellent work ethic and doing your thing, it's gonna be out of here, man.
But if you look at it, why would they take a guy like Burks when he's somewhat similar to Mims? He has the same kind of, you know what I'm saying? He's the same kind of player as Mims. So
it seems like he's a little bit more dangerous in space with the ball.
I think that if they're going to take somebody, they're going to take the kid from Ohio State, just because his route running and his ability to separation is just absolutely something different. So.
Which one? Which one from Ohio State?
Wilson.
It's not
right?
Wilson. That's it. Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah. The best one, yeah. No matter one.
All right. So you guys have to realize Joe D drafted Mims for Gase's offense, not LaFleur's. While that could be true, you're a receiver. You should be able to flourish in any offense. You have talent. The kid was just making penalties. Couldn't even line up right. Dropping passes, penalties. He was in the doghouse all training camp. So
that's where you wonder if, like, maybe just like as a coaching staff, did they throw too much at him? Like, I know there was talk early on about him trying to learn like the X, the Y, the Z. Like, they wanted him to learn every single position. Why not just have him learn one that he could excel at?
Or learn the snap count so he wouldn't.
Or that.
Well, why do you have a teacher receiver that, you know what I'm saying? When we can bounce you around and put you in a position and make you a valuable weapon if you don't learn every position. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Mims being able to be in the slot or move him out or move in space. I mean, I understand that. Listen, bro, if you're not up to do your job, no one find somebody that can. So
here's a question for you. What sack number are you looking for out of Carl Lawson? Is 11.5 unreasonable?
I wish.
I'd like to see 10 to 12.
I'd say
10 to 12
10.
is reasonable.
9 I'll be happy with.
Here's a question from our good friend Darren down in Australia. Question for the panel. If I leave the Browns as a fan, is it allowed for me to jump on the Jets bandwagon? Absolutely.
Man, you family.
Wait,
yes, sir. You
time is
family,
now.
baby.
Wait, you just got your quarterback. Why are you going to leave now? You just got your quarterback.
You family. Anytime you welcome, going over here.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, man. What did I do? What am I getting attacked for, Jeff? What did I do now?
That's be Tyson.
I don't know.
That is Tyson.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Yeah, but 10 sacks. I mean, the expectations for Carl Lawson, though, I mean, 10 sacks would be awesome, I think. I mean, right? I mean, that's
the problem with him and Davis, both of them, is like, even if they do play well next year, they got 1 year left on their contract, and then what are they after that?
Yeah.
Like, not to think too far down the road, but if we're trying to build this thing the right way, where do those guys fit in?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good point for Darren. If you're going to join the Jet bandwagon, you got to bring some kangaroos with you and some koalas. we need reinforcements here, man. You can't come by yourself. You got to bring family with you. So, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I guess Browns fans, man. I understand. I can get it.
It's a moral thing for some people. I understand. You know what I'm saying? How they feel.
I completely respect that, man.
You feel betrayed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you sold and the price was cheap. I mean, that's what it was.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. I've never lived where a fan was jumping on the Jets bandwagon, come aboard. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Like right now, it's like, we're trying to we have our hopes pinned to Zach Wilson taking off and being like a legitimate game-breaking quarterback at some point. That's all our hopes are pinned on him right now. So
what if he make that jump though? What if he makes a hell of a jump?
Oh, I hope he does, dude.
What if he makes that top 15, top? You know what I'm saying?
Is this true?
Yes.
Julio Jones to the Colts? Is that true?
Oh, wow.
He was hurt all last year, wasn't he?
That would make sense though. Bring him back with Ryan.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Who the hell are the Packers signing at wide receiver? Did the Packers sign anybody? Because what's his face is still a free agent too. They have
Valdez Scantling. I think he's still a free agent.
Where did the Packers?
They brought back Lazard at least.
Yeah, but dude, like I don't know what the Packers are doing. I mean, when I guess you have Aaron Rodgers, you're fine, but it's weird. If another losing season with Salah and Wilson, what then? It all depends how they play, man. We could be a 7 or 8 win season.
Yeah.
As long as they're competitive.
I think Salah gets 3 years, and I think Zach gets about 3 years himself. And if they're not moving in the right direction, I think if Jody's still there, he'll move on.
To cap off the offseason, would you prefer to trade for Brandon Cooks or sign Darius Smith?
Darius Smith, and then draft your receiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tend to agree.
But I'm not being honest. I wouldn't mind Brandon Cooks. I always liked this kid. I don't know why he just, and he's short, but he's an amazing receiver, bro. He will be great for us, bro.
I think it was a rumor. I guess he's interested in the Colts. So
Makes
Julio
sense.
Jones, he was injured all last year, man. So let's see.
You know what receiver I wouldn't mind in the second and third round? What's the kid out of Georgia? Is it Pickens?
Oh, Pickens. Yep.
Yeah, Pickens.
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
Mind that.
Yep.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind going after him, bro, in the later rounds too. There's a lot of good players, man.
Here we go. Hey guys, thank you, Karen. Amazing stuff. How about Thibodeau at 4 and Garrett Wilson at 10, or is Drake better for us?
It's exactly what I want.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad. No, not at all. Not Wilson. If I want to take one at 10, he'll be the guy I'll take. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, Pickens may be a steal. Did Bobby Wagner sign anywhere yet or no?
Not yet. Nah.
I don't think so.
Yet. Nah. I heard any talk about it. What about my man the Honey Badger? He signed anywhere yet?
Matthew, no.
Yeah.
There's been like 4 accounts.
A whole bunch of different rumors, yeah.
There's like fake accounts tweeting shit all over the place, but I haven't seen anything for him. Let's see what we got here. Any other questions you guys have? Fire them out. And tomorrow night we bring you guys on. So you guys could ask whatever you want. Good
I
for
got
us.
stuff on Urban Meyer today.
Oof.
Man.
What happened?
He knew who Aaron Donald was. Urban Meyer. That
You
guy.
didn't read all the stuff on Urban Meyer today?
Oof.
Nah. I've been driving all day, man.
Dude, when you get a minute, go check out all the stories.
Is that bad,
man?
The shit that he was saying, oh my god, dude. Like some of the stories that came out today. I think it was DJ Shark. He was sharing a bunch of stories. Dude, crazy the environment they threw Trevor Lawrence into.
Yeah, Bozeman already signed, man. Bozeman's already signed. He's not available anymore. I forgot where he went, but I know he went somewhere. I saw it.
And rest in peace, John Clayton, bro. Like,
yeah,
absolutely amazing. That blew me, bro. I was almost sad, bro. I grew up with him, like, bro. That's crazy. That hurt right there, buddy. Like, rest in peace.
He was like an insider before the insiders, man. He's I used to look forward to his reports. Like he's like giving you some real scoops.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney, no thank you on him. I'll pass on that. Not if you guys like him or not, but
I thought they meant David Clowney. Bring him back.
Actually, I went to the Panthers. Oh man. Let's see what we got. Any other questions you guys have? You think the Jets end the Sunday night primetime drought this year? Man, you have all these big time quarterbacks changing locations. They're gonna have these guys all on night.
Listen. I hope we get at least 3 primetime games. I hope for 3. We had 1 last year.
3.
I think the Jets Seahawks could make for a nice primetime game this year.
Because
how much
Jamal
we have
Adams?
last year? 1? Did we have 1 last year? We have 1, right?
True lock.
Hopefully, he's get 3.
3. I don't want 3. Just maybe 1.
I'll take 2. 1 Monday night, 1 Sunday night.
I'm just curious what the home opener is going to be, or the season opener is going to be. I hope it's not like, well, if it's Green Bay, we can go to it, but like, hopefully it's like a home game.
I want to go to Green Bay, man. I want to go to the frozen tundra. Yes, sir.
Should we draft the center from Iowa? Where do you want to draft him at? That's the question.
I wouldn't be mad if they did. I wouldn't be mad. It would be a reach, but I wouldn't be mad.
Let's see what you guys got here.
At 4 prime time? You think before?
It's definitely not a 4.
Not a 4, not a 10.
You could maybe consider that 10, but that's still a reach. You probably look to trade down if you were going to take him.
This was something that Lee J. Dooswell brought up today. Was signing Melvin Gordon as the backup running back.
Hey, wouldn't be a bad move. He killed
us.
Big boy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Everybody killed us.
Pretty much.
Our run defense isn't something you want to evaluate running backs on because pretty much everybody did.
Isn't Fournette still a free agent too? Not that I think they're going to pay that kind of money for a running back.
Didn't he visit the Patriots today, Fournette?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Oh, wow.
I always like Fournette. I mean, Gordon, the price would probably be right for him. He's probably not going to ask for that.
I wouldn't mind Gordon, bro. You know what's so crazy? A couple of years ago, this kid was probably one of the best running backs in the league, man. He fell off that quick, bro. Like, he held out to San Diego and things went left.
We saw it with Le'Veon Bell.
Yep. Let's see. We got here. Would we still get Thibodeau even though he sat for most of the combine? I'm telling you right now, after the injury to that kid from Michigan, a lot of these guys aren't going to work out. They're not, man.
Yeah, seriously, bro. Yeah, I felt so. Yo, you see that kid, man, moving and you saw him grab his Achilles, bro. I knew it was done, man. Yo,
That's sad,
But
man.
that's that. Yeah, bro. I feel so bad for
Because
him, bro.
what's his face? Didn't Hutchinson say he's not going to work out now, or something like that, or somebody said it?
A lot of them said they're not. Why would you, bro? Listen, your body's your investment, bro. Like, yo, this kid right now would have been maybe in the first round, second round pick. This kid
Yep.
might go undrafted. Hey, now
Yeah,
I'm not
if you're
funny,
a
Pretty
kid
wild.
now,
but
Yeah,
Joe,
go ahead.
but Joe
if you're a
D,
kid now, you'd be like, go
fourth
watch the
round.
tape. Like, go watch
Yo,
my tape. I ain't working out.
and you know what's crazy, man? And I'm gonna tell you this right here. This what kills me about the combine and all this good stuff. Like, you have quality players that might run slow, right? And people they get enamored by someone running fast. You know what? At the end of the day, a lot of these players can run fast. They don't fucking play fast. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? The tape don't lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could have 4.2, 3 speed, but you don't play like that. So
Primetime does. Primetime plays like
you know what I'm
that.
saying? That's crazy.
I got 4.3 speed.
Primetime, what were you going to say?
No, about the clip with Ajabo, like where you saw all the coaches, all the scouts that were there, like not one person fucking
Terrible.
moved. One
I
guy
hate
moved to
that
pick up
shit.
the football, and like nobody else even like.
I
was after
hate
the
that
kid.
shit, man.
And, like,
It's like that's just like I understand it's a business and you have a workout, but like, dude, you have some human compassion, man. Like,
yeah.
but I don't listen. I don't blame kids now. There's two things I don't blame them for. If they don't want to work out, it's fine. And if the bowl game is completely meaningless and they don't want to play in it, I have no problem with that either, man. 'Cause it's a business, man. That is your life.
Gotta look out for yourself.
Investment. Absolutely, it's not personal business, man. Not at all.
I have no problem with that. I felt terrible for that kid. That's awful, man.
I don't. Like, yo.
So here's a question: what's the best case scenario for the 4th pick? Somebody drops to you.
Probably Thibodeau, right?
Yep.
Thibodeau. Yeah. Thibodeau. But is he a Joe D guy though? That's what baffles me, man.
I don't know.
You know, because people talk about his work. And I know. Listen, a lot of teams are badmouth somebody to give him a drop in the draft. I understand that.
I mean, a Joe D guy is Hamilton. I mean, that's if we're being completely honest, but a guy that brings everything to the table is Hamilton. That's.
Let me ask you a question though. A guy like Hamilton there for right. Instead of booking a gun, would you take him just because he's a chess piece that can be moved all over the place? Listen, this is my thing about Hamilton. I would take Hamilton if Salah was running the defense. Aubrey, I don't know if I would. That's my problem. If Salah's running the defense, Hamilton at 4, he's just a chess piece that can be moved all over. You know what I mean? So.
Tyrone is now on the Hamilton train.
There's no hate towards the player.
Sure sounds like it.
There's no hate towards the player. I think he's gonna be a great player. I just think
Definitely
as far as our needs go, I'm helping Zach Wilson first. I'm solving our pass rush second. Safeties.
So you take a receiver at 4 prime time?
Not at 4, but ideally you could get your pass rush at 4 and then solve receiver at 10. That's my dream scenario for the draft.
Let me ask you a question. How many great pass rushers in the last couple of years in the league been found in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round? I'm just asking. They've been there, right? How many receivers? Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the league, right? What was he taking in the draft?
I don't know if I'd call him the best receiver in the league.
Damn near, right?
He's solid.
What was he taking in the draft, though?
I know.
Like what?
And you got plenty of Jamar Chases in the top 5. Miles Garrett's first overall. I mean,
but see, the one thing that I'm real curious about is the whole thing with Thibodeau is about just how it's the work ethic thing. And like everybody, like when he did his interviews, everybody's like, "Oh, well, he said this and he said that." Of course he did, because he's coached. You're coached what to say in your interviews. So like how do you I'm sure the teams are gonna do their research though, but like to find out if he loves the game of football, what his drive is, what his work ethic is. I mean, that's on Joe Douglas and his staff to figure out and do the research on it and ask all the right questions to the right people. You know what I mean? Because like that, the combine interviews didn't mean shit to me, man. The word was already out. That was during the season and after season. That's when the word came out. So then it's just damage control at that point. Now you can figure out how do you prove it. But here's a very important question, Tyrone, that you have to answer for all of us. We're very interested. What is your favorite color M&M?
Yellow.
Yellow? All right. What is your favorite type of M&M? There's a lot of good ones out now.
You know they all taste the same, right?
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
because
do.
The nuts. The nuts. I hate the pure
Yeah,
chocolate ones. I can't stand
I like the
them.
white chocolate ones, the white chocolate peanut ones. Then the fudge brownie ones, the peanut butter ones.
You know the different color M&Ms really don't have any different taste, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
I'm just making sure we know that.
Peanut M&Ms are always good. Let's see. If KY is there at 4 and Sauce is gone by 10, would you take Stingley? Best corner I've watched probably ever on tape, but I completely understand injury concerns.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Stingley, I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
I kind of.
Any guy that has injury concerns is probably off my board at 4 and 10.
Here's something from Snoopy. They say Hamilton is a tight end eraser, and I know one thing: tight ends kill us year in and year out. Fact.
Outside linebacker. I mean, running backs, absolutely.
I mean, Primetime wants a guy that can cover guys out of backfield, good against tight ends, good against running backs, can play corner, can play.
I'm just saying, if you're going to take him at 4, he better be elite. He better be that
unicorn,
legitimate.
My friend.
He better be that. If you're going to take him at 4, and if he is, that's fine.
It's amazing how we've come full circle on this conversation.
Not quite.
Do you guys think JD's honestly going to pick at 4 and 10? I think I mean
4 probably. I think 10 is more likely.
Yeah.
To see a trade.
I feel the same way. I think he's definitely taking 4. At 10, I'm not sure. I don't think he'll pick 10. I think he'll move back. I really do.
Here's Dan.
But
Panthers, yeah, that's the whole thing. Panthers, Falcons. I see even Giants all hot for a quarterback. Maybe a blockbuster trade. The Jets at 4 if the board shakes with Thibodeau and Hutch off the board. I mean, I don't know if somebody's going to be that hot for a quarterback at 4.
That would be awesome, though.
Yes, sir.
Like four spots, get another first or second round pick.
Yeah, you would move him back a couple of spots.
I'd do that.
Yeah, man. Listen, would you trade? Listen, Primetime. Would you trade 4 for the Eagles' 15 and 16 pick?
Probably, yeah. Because I like the middle of this first round.
I know it's hard. I
like the middle of this first round. You're talking Linderbaum. You're talking Jamison Williams or another receiver that would make a little bit more sense in that area. You might still be able to get your corner at 10 or another edge rusher.
That's crazy.
I'd rather Hamilton at 4 than wide receiver at 10. There you go. Slowly but surely. The Hamilton steam is building here. This is interesting. Very interesting.
If we had more help for Zach, I wouldn't be as opposed to it.
But he is help because he's helped making your defense better, which gets the.
What's more important for the defense, a safety or a pass rusher?
But he is a pass rusher too.
All right, so we're getting Jamal Adams back.
He's actually better.
There's some coverage ability.
Tyson, please take it easy on Jose tomorrow. I took care of Jose last week. Jose got buried last week. Were you there for that, Tyrone, when I buried him or no?
Yeah, I was on the show last week.
And then we got Coach Sala said he likes Kyle. So that's interesting.
Oh, great.
More breaking news here on Let's Talk Jets tonight.
What up, Coach?
Here's save 4 and 10 and trade back into the first round. I can see that too. He's got flexibility with that for sure.
Would you trade both your second round picks to move up to 22 or 24, something in that range?
What are you coming to get?
Maybe Linderbaum, if he's still there, or if you didn't take a receiver at 10. If like Olave or somebody else is still there,
I wouldn't hate it. Especially if it's a receiver, especially if we didn't get a receiver at 10, I wouldn't hate it, man.
Yeah.
So what's we got here? Carl Lawson is a forgotten man. By who? Who the hell forgot about him? We were talking about him almost every week.
No, Primetime had the best point about it, though. Primetime was like, look, if you add Lawson to this free agency, we might hit a home run. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add him in because he'll play. Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. Let's see. We talk a lot of Eminem talk in our chat now. We're so easily sidetracked.
Slim Shady or the candy?
Let's see. We got here. This is the one time I got to side with Primetime. Why are we drafting a safety of 4 when you can find versatile safeties in round 2? Brisker, Hill. Because there's only certain. Luca, I'll answer the question. There's not many unicorns out there. Just remember that. Yes. Why go with second tier when you can go with the best?
Not many unicorn pass rushers either.
I just like the word unicorn, man. That's all. I just don't care. Oh shit!
Last time I heard that was for Porzingis. He was our last unicorn.
Yeah,
this offseason isn't an A+ until we get a wide receiver 1. Well, who do you want, Snoopy? Who's the number 1 we can get?
No free agents left. Pretty much all the free agents are like veterans at this point. You got Beckham, Antonio Brown, Crowder just signed, Emmanuel Sanders, Sammy Watkins, T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green. Like all these guys are past their prime now. Deshaun Jackson.
Why Crowder had to go to Buffalo, man? Like,
just to replace Beasley.
Just to fuck with us.
So is Trey McBride still an option?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
In round 2, I don't think so. I don't know if they would take a
either.
tight end in round 2. Round 3 or later, I could see them taking a tight
I can't
end.
see a
I
tight
don't
end
think
in round
McBride's
2,
going to be there, though.
If he's there in the third round, bro, he's probably getting got up.
But in terms of value, like getting your best value in the second round, tight ends can't be it, man. Not when you spent all that money on these other two guys.
We got listen, man. Listen, with those first 2 picks in the first 2 picks in the second round, man, you're looking for 4 starters, right? If we get 4 starters
Ideally.
out of this deal right here, yeah, that's just what you want. So what do you value and what we need? You know what I'm saying? So what's for me? Drake
This is
London,
something
you're not lying. He's a beast, man. That's a big dude. His catch radius, bro. Listen, he's not getting past 10. I promise you, he ain't.
Here's something for you. That's right, Tyson. Why set up for dog food when we can have juicy prime rib? Hamilton at 4.
Wait, I thought you wanted Linderbaum at 4.
He dead changed. Oh man, nobody's afraid of Crowder. DJ just got paid. Who's that? I don't know who that is.
DJ Reed?
I don't know. Tyson, can you read what the joke? I'm not gonna read this. I don't know what it is. What does the fish say on the inside of a water bottle? I can only imagine. Let's see what we got here.
What's the punchline?
I don't know. You got to tell us what it is. Oh, don't forget, we got the USFL April 16th coming up too. Don't forget about that.
Oh wow, less than a month.
I'm hoping Linderbaum falls to us in round 2.
Round 2.
Oof. I don't think that's gonna happen.
If they somehow get pass rush and receiver at 4 and 10, and Linderbaum's still sitting there late 20s, I'm moving up. I'm not risking it.
I can't. The chat's moving too fast. I can't believe it. Revis said he believes in Becton. I think a lot of players are trying to rally him around Becton too, though. They're just bringing a positive energy around the team. Legend is sleeping. He had a rough weekend. He had a rough weekend, man. It's Monday. It's nice weather in New Jersey. We got Russia
partying too hard watching Notre Dame.
Yeah, watching Notre Dame beat Rutgers. What's up, boys? So glad to see you. I'm holding strong the Jets support across the globe. Glad I got my shirts before the sanctions. Oh, that's right, man. That's awesome. You got him. That's right. I mailed him. That's right. I did mail him there. I'm glad you got him. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. That's the interesting thing is trying to mail our shirts like overseas with all the customs and shit like that and trying to figure it out. It's funny as hell, man. So thank you for your support. We appreciate it. That's cool that you got it. Let's see. We got here. I would trade Mims and Ashton Davis for a bag of Jolly Ranchers. Time, your thoughts?
Jolly Ranchers are pretty good.
Hey guys, not making excuse for missing a number one receiver, but Corey Davis should play better, and Elijah Moore should be good. I mean, what are realistic expectations for Corey Davis this year?
60 catches. I think that's setting the bar pretty low too.
700, 800 yards.
Oh, so the joke inside my water bottle, it says, "If you're thirsty," just a picture of a fish. It says, "If you're thirsty, just let me know," like a minnow. So if you're thirsty, just let me know. That's what it was. That's the joke.
I expected.
So it's the smart water. That's what it was. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? And you know, it's like, I don't want to read anything out loud because we get caught sometimes. We start reading like some weird shit in there.
Do they always put jokes inside the bottle?
They must. I never knew that. Shit. I have a whole bunch of my
refrigerator. The ones on the icicle, the popsicle sticks, those are better. They usually have good jokes on them.
So what are your expectations for Corey Davis, Tyrone?
60 catches for me.
Like 700, 800 yards. I'm not expecting a lot from him. I mean,
how many catches? 60 catches?
Somewhere around that. I listen. I thought when we signed this off, he was gonna be really good. He dropped a lot of balls, man. And I think Zach tried to force the ball to him a lot last year, and I think that he didn't have a receiver out dropping big time balls. He dropped a lot of balls. So
then, if we were saying 60 catches for Corey Davis, what do you expect from Elijah Moore this year?
75, 80.
Yep.
1,000 yards.
12,
he'll be close. He'll be close.
1,300 yards.
Yes,
not gonna go that high.
Listen,
what?
I think. Listen. I think the little fella.
1,300 yards.
I think it's gonna be a problem. Listen,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a problem.
Depends also on how Zach plays too. I mean,
1,300 yards. How many catches does he have with 1,300 yards?
My 80, 85 yards, 85 catches.
What?
Maybe, yeah. Feature him in the offense, baby. Feature him in the offense,
that's what
baby.
about 14 yards a catch.
Wow, man.
Listen,
17 games too, but that's still a lot of yards,
thank
man.
you, appreciate it. Got the extra game, but in the playoffs, baby, deep playoff run, baby.
Yeah, Tyrone is he's definitely in Kool-Aid mode tonight. 1,300 yards, 12 catches. Balls and Snoopy man are going at it tonight. They're ripping up everybody. Yeah, there's a lot of Kool-Aid going on.
Why not feature him, man? I think that he's better than Davis. You know what I'm saying? So.
Dan says 1,300 yards. Get this man a breathalyzer test. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. Let's see what else we can do. A couple more here. Thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Tomorrow night, you guys can all come on. Hopefully, the Jets make some more moves. Tyrone rattling everybody's cage. If our O-line is improved and Davis stays healthy, that's possible. I don't know, man.
There's another comment I saw on Davis. Hold on. Yeah, because going back to training camp, that was Zach Wilson's number one target. He was locked in on Corey Davis. I mean, Tyson and I were there for a few days. I mean, he was locked in early on Corey Davis. It seemed like they had really good chemistry early on, and then as the season wore on, it just some of the drops, and then he was out for a little bit. So I'd like to see them.
Here's a good one
this year.
Dotson, Bell, Pickens, and Tolbert will all be available in the second round. Do we really lose that much if we wait to draft the receiver in the second?
Yes.
Salute! Yes, sir. Pickens,
Yes.
Tolbert, Bell, Dotson, all great receivers.
Fair point.
Not that big a drop. Not that big a drop off from what's in the first round in the round one. I'm just saying.
How many rushing yards will Michael Carter have this year? I'm gonna say 1,000. Be 1,000-yard back this year.
It'd be nice, and maybe 35 catches, 400 yards pass.
You think he gets 1,000 yards? Prime time?
Absolutely, man. He
Depends
runs
if
crazy.
he's healthy
so
for all 17 games, and if they actually use him as a true number one back. Because I know with the Niners, LaFleur tended to go with the backfield by committee. We'll see if they had anybody else with Coleman.
All-purpose yards, definitely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Getting 2 tight ends will also allow our receivers to have more room. Oh, it opens up everything, man. It opens up the running game, the receivers. It helps Zach out. It's definitely a big thing here. Mims the second rounder, so is DJ Metcalf. All right.
Who's DJ Metcalf?
I don't know. He's the guy who works at DJs down here.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, let's see. What's this? Like Michael Carter will have more catches than Corey Davis. Let's hope not, man. That's probably not a good thing.
I mean, you could have a running back with 50 plus catches.
That's
Probably
true.
not good for Corey Davis, but
Yep.
I mean,
Here we
Richie
go.
Anderson had 80 catches one year.
How many sacks does Quinn have? This is a big year for him, man.
I think he's got to have double digits if he wants that contract he's looking for.
Well, you figure, hopefully you have Lawson back. They have John Franklin Myers next to him. That could free him up more to actually have a bigger year.
Should.
Yeah.
Can he get 10?
I think that's what he's got to get. He had 7.5 or 8 this year.
Yeah, so we have 8, so 10, 11.
Here's one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Have you guys seen the new Batman movie? I have not.
No, not yet, man. I heard it was really good, though.
I've never seen any of the Batman movies.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't have time for movies.
I've never seen one Batman movie, Avengers, Spider-Man, like none of that stuff. Never got into any of it.
Oh,
Would you trade a third rounder for Chenault?
Ooh, I like Chenault too.
Y'all
Third
like
rounder,
this,
I don't know.
What's
That's a
his
tough one.
contract right now?
Well, he was drafted 2 years ago? So he's still.
No,
I think he was.
2 years ago. Yeah, I
think it was 2 years
2
ago.
years ago. Yeah,
Pretty sure it was 2 years ago.
49.
If he was a first round pick, then you still have the 50-year option too, so you could have him for another 3 years. I might do a third round pick, honestly.
A third rounder? That's interesting.
Problem is you're picking at the top of the third round, so it's almost like a late second.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
probably try to see if they could do it for a fourth.
Fourth, yeah. 2 of those.
Fourth, I think I would do.
All right. Let's see. Who will lead the team in interceptions and passes defended?
Interceptions.
How about DJ Reed?
I'm going to say DJ Reed with passes defended and interceptions will be Whitehead. I think Whitehead's going to make all kinds of plays. No, I take that back.
Not Reed, man.
No, Reed's going to be passes defended, interceptions, Hamilton. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like Ashton Davis or somebody.
Oh,
shit.
It's too early for this.
That's funny.
I'm not high enough for this shit. Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap these things up. Get Tyrone.
I'm gonna say John Franklin Myers. That's what I'm gonna say with most of the substitute team.
Wait, what?
Oh man!
Oh,
Thank you guys for
Oh,
joining us. We
oh,
appreciate it. What
uh,
time tomorrow night? 8 o'clock.
Should be good.
All right, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll talk to you guys later.